Welcome to Ingles con Juan, where we believe that learning English isn't about perfection, it's about progress. This channel is dedicated to helping you improve your English through real stories, authentic situations, and practical lessons that you can use in your everyday life. Every video is designed to boost your listening skills, expand your vocabulary, and most importantly, inspire you to keep moving forward on your English learning journey. Today's story is about courage, preparation, and discovering what real English learning looks like when everything is on the line. Let's begin. Maria sits down at her kitchen table and opens her calendar. The interview is scheduled exactly 3 weeks from today. She's been studying English for almost 2 years now. 2 years of weekly classes, daily vocabulary apps, watching series with subtitles, and completing online exercises. But this feels different. This isn't about passing a test or completing a lesson. This is about her future. This is real. And if you're watching this video right now, feeling the same pressure Maria feels, the same doubt about whether your English is good enough, hit that like button and subscribe to Ingles con Juan. You're not alone in this journey. Let's walk through this together. She decides to write her answers first. She types in Spanish, then carefully translates each sentence to English. She checks her grammar 3 times. Every verb tense is correct. Every preposition is in the right place. She reads her answers aloud, and immediately something sounds wrong. The words are accurate, but they sound robotic, mechanical, like she's reading from an instruction manual, not describing her professional experience and career aspirations. Maria records herself on her phone and plays the audio back. The nervousness in her voice is painfully obvious. She stutters on words she knows perfectly well when reading. Her pace is unnatural, too slow in some places, too rushed in others. She sounds exactly like what she is, someone reciting memorized scripts. This discovery frustrates her deeply, but it also clarifies what she needs to work on. The problem isn't her vocabulary. The problem isn't even her grammar. The problem is that she's been studying English as an academic subject instead of learning it as a communication tool. The second week brings something that every serious English learner eventually faces: the plateau. That frustrating phase where progress seems invisible, where improvement feels impossible. Monday, she practices for an hour and feels confident. Tuesday, she can't remember words she used fluently just yesterday. Wednesday, simple phrases disappear from her memory completely. Thursday, she seriously questions whether she's actually learned anything at all in 2 years. Friday evening, exhausted after a long workday and another disappointing practice session, Maria considers sending an email to cancel the interview. She starts typing, "Thank you for the opportunity, but I need to withdraw my application." Her finger hovers over the send button. Then she stops. She closes her laptop. She walks to her window and looks outside, thinking about why she started learning English in the first place. It wasn't just for a better job, although that was part of it. It was for possibilities, for growth, for connecting with people and ideas beyond her immediate world, for challenging herself to become more capable than she was yesterday. Maria deletes the draft email. She decides not to quit. Instead, she decides to completely change her approach to preparation. Something shifts. The language stops feeling like a foreign code she's trying to crack. It starts feeling like a tool she's learning to use. The difference is subtle but profound. She contacts her friend Diego, who's fluent in English, and asks him to conduct practice interviews, but she gives him specific instructions. "Don't ask me the common questions I've been practicing. Ask me unexpected things. Challenge me." Diego agrees. Their first practice session is uncomfortable. He asks, "If you were managing a multicultural team of 7 people and 2 team members had a serious disagreement about project direction, what specific steps would you take to resolve the situation?" Maria's mind races. She hasn't prepared an answer for this. She feels the familiar panic rising. Then something different happens. Instead of freezing or apologizing for not knowing what to say, she takes a breath and thinks out loud in English. "That's a complex situation. My first step would be to meet with each person individually to understand their perspective fully, without the other person present. People are often more honest in one-on-one conversations. Then I would identify what both people agree on. Usually, everyone agrees on the ultimate goal, even when they disagree on the method. From there, I would facilitate a conversation where we explore different approaches objectively, focusing on project success rather than personal preference. Diego nods. And what if the disagreement continues? Maria pauses again, but this time the pause feels different. Thoughtful rather than panicked. She responds, "If we can't find common ground, I would make a decision based on project requirements and data, explain my reasoning clearly to both team members, and commit to evaluating results. If I'm wrong, I want to know so we can adjust. If I'm right, the results will demonstrate that. Either way, maintaining respect and open communication is essential." After the practice session, Diego tells her something important. "You sound completely different than you did 30 minutes ago. In the beginning, you were trying to sound perfect. At the end, you were just communicating. That's what interviewers want to hear." This feedback teaches Maria a critical lesson about English learning. The goal isn't eliminating every mistake. The goal is communicating effectively despite imperfection. She studies practical phrases that professional English speakers actually use. In my previous role, I was responsible for. What I found particularly effective was, as a result of these efforts, we achieved. This experience taught me that. I believe my background in. What excites me most about this opportunity is. She practices these phrases until they flow naturally, not memorized like vocabulary lists, but integrated like tools she knows how to use. She learns the STAR method: situation, task, action, result, for structuring answers to behavioral questions. She prepares 3 strong examples from her work experience using this framework. Most importantly, she learns strategies for handling the unexpected. When she doesn't understand a question. "That's an interesting question. Could you rephrase it? I want to make sure I'm addressing what you're asking." When she needs time to think. "Let me reflect on that for a moment." When she doesn't know something. "I don't have direct experience with that, but here's how I would approach learning it." The night before the interview, Maria doesn't cram. She reviews her key accomplishments briefly, then she relaxes. She watches a comedy show in English. She reminds herself that the interviewer is also a person who was probably nervous during their own job interviews. She goes to bed early, trusting her preparation. The video call begins at 10 a.m. sharp. Robert Thompson, the hiring manager, appears on screen with a warm smile. "Good morning, Maria. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?" Her voice is steady and genuine. "Good morning, Robert. I'm doing very well, thank you for asking. I'm excited to be here and learn more about this opportunity." "Wonderful. Let's start with something straightforward. Tell me about yourself, your background, your experience, and what interests you about this position specifically." This is Maria's moment. She doesn't recite a memorized speech. Instead, she tells her authentic story. "I'm a marketing professional with 4 years of experience, primarily focused on digital campaigns and brand development. What I love most about my work is the intersection of creativity and data. I enjoy creating campaigns that connect emotionally with audiences while also tracking metrics to understand what's working and what isn't. What drew me to your company specifically is your commitment to innovation and your global perspective. I've been following global text campaigns in Latin America, and I'm impressed by how you adapt messaging for different markets while maintaining brand consistency. I believe my experience, combined with my bilingual capabilities and my genuine enthusiasm for cross-cultural marketing, would allow me to contribute meaningfully to your team." Robert leans forward slightly, engaged. "That's excellent. Can you describe a significant professional challenge you've faced and explain how you handled it?" Maria uses the STAR method. She describes a situation from 8 months ago when her company's largest client threatened to end their contract due to unsatisfactory campaign performance. She explains the task: retain the client and improve campaign results within 30 days. She details her actions. She conducted extensive research into the client's target audience, interviewed customers directly, identified that the messaging wasn't resonating with the client's actual demographic, completely restructured the campaign strategy, and presented the new approach to the client with clear reasoning and projected outcomes. The result? The client not only stayed, but increased their contract value by 40%. "Impressive problem solving," Robert comments. "Now, tell me about a weakness, something you're actively working to improve." Maria has practiced this question extensively, knowing it requires honesty balanced with self-awareness. "I'm someone who cares deeply about quality and details. In the past, this sometimes meant I spent too much time perfecting projects that were already strong enough to deliver. I've recognized this tendency, and I've been deliberately working on it. Now, I use project management systems to set firm deadlines for myself. I also check in regularly with team members and supervisors to ensure I'm not becoming a bottleneck. I'm learning that sometimes done is better than perfect, especially when timelines matter. It's an ongoing development process, but I'm definitely making progress." How do you handle working with people from different cultural or professional backgrounds? Maria shares a specific example about collaborating with the IT department to implement new analytics software. She explains how she initially didn't understand the technical terminology, but instead of pretending to comprehend, she asked questions until she truly understood. She learned what the IT team needed from marketing, and she clearly communicated what marketing needed from IT. Together, they created solutions that worked for both departments. Then Robert asks something unexpected. Imagine you're 3 months into this role, and you realize that a strategy your manager insisted on implementing isn't producing results. The data clearly shows it's not working, but your manager is personally invested in this approach. What would you do? This is the kind of question Maria couldn't have scripted. She takes a breath, allowing herself a moment to think. That's a nuanced situation. My approach would be to prepare a clear presentation of the data, showing specifically what's not working and why. I would include potential alternative strategies supported by evidence. Then I would request a meeting with my manager and present this information professionally and respectfully. I would emphasize that we share the same goal, successful outcomes, and that I'm bringing this to their attention because I'm committed to achieving those results. If my manager still wanted to continue with the original strategy, I would ask what success metrics we could track to evaluate the approach objectively over a specific time frame. My responsibility is to provide honest analysis while respecting the decision-making hierarchy. Robert nods appreciatively. The interview continues for 45 minutes, covering team dynamics, her familiarity with various marketing tools, her ideas for the company's upcoming campaign, and her questions about team structure and growth opportunities. Finally, Robert asks, "Do you have any questions for me?" Maria asks, "What does success look like for someone in this position after the first 6 months?" Robert explains the key deliverables and relationship-building expectations. Maria follows up, "And what do you enjoy most about working at Global Tech?" Robert's answer reveals company culture insights that aren't in any job description. As the call ends, Maria says sincerely, "Thank you so much for this conversation, Robert. I genuinely appreciate your time, and I'm very excited about the possibility of joining your team." "Thank you, Maria. We'll be in touch soon. Have a great day." She reflects on the 3-week journey. Those 21 days taught her more about English than the previous 2 years of studying. Why? Because the learning was purposeful. It was connected to something that genuinely mattered to her. She wasn't memorizing grammar rules for a test. She was developing communication skills for a real opportunity with real consequences. Maria also realizes what didn't work. Memorizing scripts made her sound inauthentic. Focusing obsessively on perfection created anxiety rather than confidence. Studying isolated vocabulary without context felt disconnected from actual communication. What worked was immersion, thinking in English throughout her day. What worked was practicing with unpredictable questions. What worked was shifting her mindset from, "I need to be perfect," to, "I need to communicate effectively." 2 days later, an email notification appears. The subject line reads, "Job offer, International Marketing Coordinator, Global Tech Solutions." Maria opens the message with trembling hands. They're offering her the position. The email specifically mentions that the interview panel was impressed not only by her technical knowledge and creative thinking, but also by her communication skills, her authenticity, and her obvious passion for the work. She reads one sentence twice. "Your ability to communicate complex ideas clearly, listen thoughtfully, and respond to unexpected questions with confidence demonstrated exactly the kind of professional we're looking for on our international team." Maria sits back in her chair, overwhelmed with emotion. Not just happiness about the job, though that's certainly part of it, but something deeper: pride. Not arrogant pride, but the quiet satisfaction of knowing she faced something that terrified her and succeeded. She proved to herself that her English skills, while not perfect, are genuinely functional and professional. She sends a message to her English teacher. "I got the job. Thank you for always telling me that real learning happens outside the classroom. You were right." Her teacher responds, "I knew you could do it. Now the real learning begins, using English every single day in your career. Congratulations." Every person watching this video is at a different stage of their English learning journey. Some of you are just beginning. Some of you are intermediate learners feeling stuck on that frustrating plateau. Some of you are advanced but still doubting whether your English is good enough for professional settings. Wherever you are right now, Maria's experience proves that courage, purposeful practice, and authentic communication matter more than perfection. If this story motivated you, inspired you, or gave you hope for your own English learning journey, please show your support by hitting that like button. Subscribe to Ingles con Juan for more real stories, practical lessons, and listening practice that actually prepares you for real-world English communication. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message today. Your English learning journey is uniquely yours. Your timeline is your own. Your challenges are valid. Your progress matters. Keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself. Keep showing up even when it's difficult, even when you make mistakes, even when progress feels slow. Your breakthrough moment is closer than you think. Thank you for watching. See you in the next lesson.